Did you know that North Korean dictator Kim Jong Il was obsessed with movies? In fact, his obsession went so far that he kidnapped the best actress and director from South Korea and forced them to produce films for him. North Korea uses movies primarily as a form of propaganda, and most of their production never exits the country. The founder of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, believed in the importance of cinema and instructed his filmmakers to produce movies based on the official state ideology called Juche in order to indoctrinate his people. His son, Kim Jong Il, was even more obsessed with cinema, and he was apparently a big fan of Hollywood movies, despite the fact that they were banned in North Korea. He allegedly owned over 20,000 copies of movies from all over the world, which were subtitled in Korean just for him. And he was the only person authorized to watch them. He became the director of the motion picture and arts division of his country, and he personally oversaw the production of many propagandistic movies, often dedicated to his father. In 1973, he even wrote a book on filmmaking called On the Art of the Cinema. However, he was frustrated with the movies and actors of North Korea. A leaked tape recording revealed that he believed that North Korean actors knew that the state would feed them no matter what, so they didn't try hard enough. Meanwhile, he argued that South Korean actors were better because they had to put on a great performance in order to earn money. Indeed, the South Korean film industry was flourishing, and one of the biggest stars of the time was the actress Choi Eun-hee. Born in 1926, she began her career in 1947, and 7 years later, she married the film director Shin Sang-ok. During the 50s and 60s, they became the most celebrated couple in South Korean entertainment, and they had numerous successes while working together. Little did they know that their life would turn into a horror shortly after. In the early 70s, the South Korean government introduced more strict censorship on movies, and the film industry of the country started to decline. Meanwhile, Eun-hee and Sang-ok were struggling both in their careers and their personal lives. The actress was diagnosed with infertility, and the couple adopted 2 children, but in 1976, she found out that her husband had fathered 2 children with another actress, so they divorced. As her career was declining, Eun-hee traveled to Hong Kong in 1978 to meet a businessman who offered to start a film company with her. However, this never came to be as something horrible happened. Upon arriving in Hong Kong, she was immediately sedated, kidnapped, and taken to North Korea by a group of men at the orders of Kim Jong Il. He wanted to revitalize the North Korean film industry, making their movies competitive on an international stage in order to show their propaganda all over the world. So he decided to kidnap the best actress from the South. And that, according to him, was Eun-hee. Although the story sounds like a horror plot, Eun-hee recalls her arrival in North Korea with mixed feelings. The actress was housed in a luxurious villa in Pyongyang and was guarded 24/7. She was also shown the main landmarks of the country and was assigned a private tutor who instructed her on the life and alleged achievements of the dictator. Kim Jong Il also showed Eun-hee North Korean movies and operas and asked for her opinion about them. She was even taken to the private parties of the regime and was introduced to the family of the dictator. Despite her life being thrown upside down, she was treated like a queen in North Korea. A few months after her dramatic disappearance, her ex-husband went to Hong Kong to look for her, but he was unwillingly taken to North Korea too. Taking the director to their country was another goal of the regime, and Eun-hee was used as bait to bring Sang-ok to Hong Kong where they could grab him. The director and the actress were initially kept separate, and they didn't know that they had both been taken to North. Like his ex-wife, Sang-ok was also given luxurious accommodation and was strictly guarded, but unlike her, he tried to escape twice. After these 2 failed attempts, he was sent to prison. After almost 5 years in a North Korean jail and labor camp, he was suddenly released and reunited with his ex-wife in 1983. This event was highly publicized in the country, and Kim Jong Il announced in front of a large, cheering crowd in Pyongyang that Eun-hee and Sang-ok would create movies for North Korea. The 2 were also forced to marry again and soon started to work for the regime, despite them not really wanting to do so. Sadly, they had no choice. Years later, after escaping North Korea, Eun-hee revealed that she was constantly scared of being offered as a gift to the dictator or his family, and always made sure to close every door and to have the lights on. However, the actress said that she was instead unexpectedly treated with respect and was never hurt. She added that she and her husband were able to make great movies with artistic values, which went beyond simple propaganda, but also shared that they were forced to work day and night while only sleeping for a few hours. The actress said that the couple always boys wanted their freedom, adding that she could never forgive Kim Jong Il for kidnapping them. Their first movie in North Korea was An Emissary of No Return, a historical drama published in 1984 and based on a play allegedly written by Kim Il-sung. The movie is a nationalist and dramatized tale that focuses on a diplomat who travels to The Hague in the Netherlands in 1907 to protest against the Japanese occupation of Korea in front of the international community. This movie featured many elements that were completely new to North Korean cinema, as it was shot abroad, primarily in Czechoslovakia, featured Western actors, and even showed footage of The Hague, a Western city. In order to film the movie, Eun-hee and Song-ok were allowed to travel outside North Korea, but only in Eastern Bloc countries and while being strictly guarded. Despite the fact that this was the first time that many North Koreans saw footage of the world outside the country, the movie was still a massive work of propaganda and was used for indoctrination. Kim Jong-il was very pleased with the result, and the film, which was a huge success domestically, even won a prize at the Karlovy Vary Film Festival. Soon afterwards, the couple was forced to work on several other films. Their next movie was Runaway, another work of propaganda, this time dedicated to Kim Jong-il. In 1985, they produced Love, Love, My Love, a romantic musical which featured the first kiss scene in North Korean cinema and became one of the most popular movies in the history of the country. Salt was another hugely successful film made by the couple and was met with positive reviews by foreign critics, a rare feat for North Korean movies. The film features Eun-hee as the protagonist, and she even won the prize for Best Actress at the 14th Moscow International Film Festival. In 1985, Song-ok and Eun-hee also worked on the movie The Tale of Shim Chong, and they were allowed to travel to Munich, West Germany to film some scenes. This marked the first time that they could go outside the Eastern Bloc, but they were always strictly followed by 7 North Korean bodyguards. The last movie made by Sang-ok and Eun-hee in North Korea before their life took a different turn was Pulgasari. Based on a legendary metal-eating creature of Korean folklore, the movie was a remake of a lost South Korean film and was inspired by the 1984 Japanese film The Return of Godzilla. But once again, the story was turned into a propaganda metaphor. Pulgasari became the most expensive film made under the orders of Kim Jong-il, who loved the movie. The film is now an unlikely cult classic that's also easily available online and has attracted the curiosity of many people because of the crazy story behind it. While forced to work for the North Korean regime, Song-ok and Eun-hee became very popular in the country. They were acclaimed by the people everywhere they went and had fans who hung posters of their films on their walls, a privilege previously only reserved to the dictator and his son. The regime also often sent them gifts, including expensive Western cars and watches. The couple gained the trust of Kim Jong-il, who in 1986 sent them to Vienna, Austria, in order to find someone who would help them finance a movie on Genghis Khan, since North Korea was almost bankrupt by this point. But that's exactly how they finally escaped. After planning their escape for years, Song-ok and Eun-hee took this opportunity, and on March 12, 1986, they were able to convince their bodyguards to leave them alone in a hotel room with the pretense of conducting an interview with a journalist. As soon as they could, the couple jumped into a taxi that brought them to the United States Embassy while being chased by North Korean officials. Apparently, the North Korean dictator was so convinced that he could trust the couple that he initially believed that they were kidnapped by the Americans. Instead, they asked for political asylum and received the protection of the US government, who brought them secretly to a small town in Virginia in the United States. The couple was then allowed to move to Los Angeles, where they once again worked on various movies under a pseudonym. They were initially reluctant about going back to South Korea, as they thought that the government wouldn't believe that they were kidnapped and would instead accuse them of defecting to North Korea. Ultimately, they returned to their country in 1999, and the South Korean government and public received them very positively. Sang-ok passed away in 2006 and was posthumously awarded the Gold Crown Cultural Medal, the country's top honor for an artist. Eun-hee instead passed away in 2018 and was mourned by many in South Korea. Meanwhile, North Korea banned the screening of the films made by the couple in the country due to the fact that the couple quote-unquote betrayed them. The couple's story was also turned into a documentary called The Lovers and the Despot, which was released in 2016. What they went through is truly unthinkable and at the same time inspirational.